Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast, bringing you candid rugby conversations, great interviews and insights into Ugandan rugby, and a touch of rugby in Africa and the world over. Fat Cats Rugby podcast is a product of Fat Cats Media brand for all your audio-visual content needs and equipment hire. Hope you enjoy this episode. And it's been six very interesting circuits of the Nile Special Rugby Sevens, the Uganda Sevens tournament, where many of the teams, the 11 core, and the rest of the teams come together and showcase skills across the country. Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast. My name is Ruben Kihumuro, and we are bracing ourselves for the Bugembe, the Chabazinga rather. Where's my mind? The Chabazinga Sevens at Bugembe. The second time we're going to be there from last time. That is where the Ginger Hippos won, and ideally I should say cemented their trophy. But also it is where our current circuit champions are coming from, where they call home and where they will be hosts, the Walukuba Barbarians. Today I have with me some very interesting guests. From one of the most successful clubs in the country, Derrick Tukwasibwe, aka, as he's known by very many, Muchiga, aka, as I call him, Uganda's Scott Faddy. But anyway, Muchiga, welcome. There's always been this debate that between Cobs and Heathens, that everyone is on their own camp is saying that, you know what, Cobs is the most successful, Heathens is the most successful. What's your take on that? Who's really the most successful?
First of all, thank you very much for hosting me here. I'm very glad to be here. I've watched a couple of episodes, and I always wonder, why do these fat cats never think about me?
Because you're not fat enough.
So I'm exceedingly humbled.
You decided to go back and work out and become a skinny boy, so you didn't fit the criteria.
No offense, but I think you are the only fat cat in the pod today.
Well,
but anyway.
that is the challenge of Sevens. Finding a bunch of fat people to talk about running rugby is a bit hard.
Oh, so back to the question you put before me.
Yeah.
I'm privileged to have been a part of both teams.
That's actually one thing we need to talk about, but proceed.
All right. I'm privileged to have been part of both teams. And indeed, they are the most successful outfits we have in our country.
Yeah.
But as for my opinion, I would say that Cobs is the best club in the land.
Best. Not most successful.
Best and most successful.
Really?
My brothers here will excuse me, but I think it makes a very, I would say, subjective opinion. But some of these things are objective, because when it comes to silverware, we are worth our weight in gold.
Okay.
But not to take anything away from Heathens. Heathens, if Cobs is at the top, Heathens is not so far.
Okay.
And if someone said both clubs are at the same level, with respect,
I'm surprised where you're getting the audacity to talk like this. Is it because right now you're in Cobs, yet you were in Heathens, and yet you also know that Heathens has the most Sevens trophies? So why would you say that Heathens is...
I've been on both sides of the fence, as I say. Heathens, you see, I agree they have the most Sevens trophies.
Yeah.
But just off the record, we had this discussion. Heathens last won in 2012. That's the last time they were overall winners of the Sevens. And I happened to be on that team. 11 years down the road, Heathens is now still looking for another title after that one. In that time, from 2012 to date, I'd say Cobs would take the day for the most sevens wins because we've won it in a row for, I think, between 2015 and 2021.
Okay.
We had been winning all the sevens. The number of titles, well, we back it up with the wins and the fact that the game is still progressing. Now we have other players. Walukuba made a solid claim over the last circuit. He was the champions of last year, are the current champions. But my opinion, like I said, is subjective. I don't take anything away from Heathens. They're a very good team. And I'm surprised you don't mention anything about the team that is in charge.
We cannot be talking about Pirates all the time. We have different champions here with us.
All right.
But anyway, as I first speak to the champions, you have to save the best for last.
Yeah, sure.
Two very, very vibrant youngsters, I should say. We've been having quite a laugh off air. They do have a funny side to them, even if they are looking very serious right now. Just close to me, Gift Wokorach. Sebo, how are you? Oli bulungi? How does it feel to be a sevens champion? At least for one circuit. Let me add that caveat.
Timu nyingi ezegomba otuukakaawo kula saketi emu ngana kyekitegeeza naddala ng'oli timu gye bayita ey'omukyalo nova bubyeri n'okuba championi aluddewo n'omutwalako ekikopo nga teri out of the black n'okola ki n'owangula kiwa essanyu.
And also with Gift Wokorach, we have their captain, the very, very smooth, easy speaking, and I think just the way he even was making his interviews over the weekend was just inspiring a lot of calmness in his teammates. Bob Kawanda. Nkoze nnyo gundi commentary ne gundi ne media company nyingi nga tuli ku rugby. Naye nze mbeera nkulaba nga kumpi buli kimu okikola oyagala kusamba oyegwa olusi bakuteeka ku 12 olusi nkusanga ku 10 olusi eno gwe kati njagala kubuuza nga gwe mu rugby namba ki gy'oli comfortable nayo?
Namba gye ndi comfortable nayo center. Yeah. Center 12 over 13.
12 over 13.
Yeah.
Soko otubuulireko ku sakete gye mwawangula eno eyaggwa. Nalabako bu interview ku social media wonna nga boogera naawe naye nga oli calm ogamba don't worry, we have the next game, we know how we have played them before, we know what to do. Confidence eyo yavaawa naddala nga wabadde agambibwa abantu abamu balowooza tiimu ya mukyalo, tiimu mpya, tiimu nto. Confidence yavuddewo eyo ekuba abasajja.
Confidence etubaddemu lwakuba tubadde tetukijjangayo naye nga confidence tubadde nayo okuva twatandika ozannya sevens okuva twayingira sevens confidence tubadde nayo naye nga tetukiraga bulazi baplayer nabagamba be bamu betuzanya ne coach abadde akitugamba so confidence tubadde nayo just tubadde tubulagiraga bulazi bantu nti tugiina era twali mu camp ku luno. Of course game esooka twagiluzinga but nategeera nti ku game eddako tulina okuwininga nga ndaba ekiri mu camp buli omu akyetaaga.
Kakati mubadde ne kumpi ne weeks 2 ez'okuwummula mwabagenda okuhostinga ebugembe ku kyabazinga sevens. Kati kyemulina okutegeera tiimu endala tezigenda kubatunulira nga tiimu eri entono, bagenda kubalaba nga now these are the guys we have to beat. So kati mwe mwetegese mutya, are you ready for that kind of pressure, that kind of attention?
Yeah, ekyo bulijjo kye twagala. Bulijjo kye twagala. Kutulaba nga tiimu ennene.
Tulabeko nti weetuli.
We muli.
Bulijjo kye twagala ndiomba mutegeere ndowooza message yaffe yatuuse. So kati saawa zino kuzannya buli omu nga muki. Balekere okutuyita tiimu entono ab'omukyalo. So buli ajje Bugembe akitegeere. akitegeere nti tugenda kuba muliro tetugenda kuzikiza omuliro gwe twagumye tegugenda kuzikira kati.
Okay, interesting. Derrick, so I just want to pick your mind. We have had 6 circuits so far, different parts of the country. One thing I really love about Sevens is, man, you can be able to travel everywhere. Kitgum, Tororo, Toro, and all the other places. It's been amazing. We have had, and each of the circuits has had its own surprises, its own drama, its own exciting things. How have you observed this sequence of the 7 series, and also from your perspective, let's say, as a person that understands rugby, but also from as a person that's a Cobs rugby player?
Particularly for the past 3 seasons, I'm impressed that we are leveling up to the international standard, or at least attempting to level up with the international standard. The 2-day circuits are a bit hectic, but as rugby players, we have to develop in terms of our conditioning, ability to keep going, and have enough gas in the tank to use the whole weekend and the whole week for training and be top players. I'm particularly impressed. And as far as spreading the circuits all over the country, that is a positive step forward. As in the attempt to grow the game, I think the union has got a tick on that one. But there are other issues involved. Say the fact that the circuits are equitably distributed.
Yeah.
Now here comes a challenge. In 2021, the Western Circuit was in Chigezi, where I come from incidentally. And 2022, Western Circuit was in Fort Portal. 2023, Western Circuit back to Fort Portal. Eastern Circuit in Jinja, this year we have 2. So I thought there is not supposed to be monotony. If we went to Arua last year for the Northern Uganda Circuit, and we went to Kitgum this year, there's a plus there.
Yeah.
If we went to Jinja last year and we went to Tororo this year, there's another plus. But if we keep having the circuits in the same place, in the same locations, I mean, I was giving an example of the West. Mbara is the biggest city in Western Uganda. There is Kasese. There are smaller districts like Bushenyi, like Rukunjiri, like Kanungu, where I doubt there is a rugby player in Kanungu. But
You'll be surprised.
But for the sake of growing the game,
Yeah.
these are areas that have to be tapped into. Because you never know what opportunities the union would pick and what players might be scouted. Or a kid in the village somewhere in maybe a Beam district would be inspired and in the next maybe 10, 15 years would be the best player the country has ever had. Then on the perspective of, from the perspective of a player, I think now the time is coming where the player has to draw a line between professionally participating and participating just for just. Because you see, if you train for the whole week for a circuit in Arua and you travel on Friday at 7 a.m. because Arua is quite a distance, and you have to spend the 2 days in Arua, which, by the way, the last game will end in the evening, around this time at 5, 6 p.m. And you have to travel back to Kampala for over 10 hours. When on the next day, you've got to step in the office and work, you've got some errands to run. Whereas being a human being, the body ought to rest from all this exercise. So I think now going forward, there's going to be a line drawn, and it won't be possible for people with demanding professions to actively play rugby at 100%. So I think there's going to be a need for professionalism, which is very much needed, because that is the way we are going to compete with our rivals, our neighbors, and all the other teams on the world rugby scene.
Okay, that's actually a very interesting point that you put out, because when you do think about it, it really takes it over. And we are really going to just explore more on the breakdown of what used to happen back in the day, the 2-day circuits, and what is happening now in stark contrast. As one of the players that you have that has been part of it, maybe you can just paint for us a picture. For those that don't know, Derrick did play for the MTN Heathens. So if you want to calculate his age, start now. But that was one of the very successful stints of Heathens. So just tell us a bit about that experience. Like 2-day tournaments used to be there actually.
Yeah, sure.
Then there was a halt, and then we went to 1-day tournaments, and then back to 2-day tournaments. Is it the same reaction right now that was there back then? How were players responding? How were fans responding? And also paint for us a picture from your perspective of playing in that Heathens team. And I think you can start with the 2-day question.
Back then, when we had the 2-day system, incidentally, most circuits were spread around Kampala. The farthest we would go was Jinja,
Yeah.
and Bali sometimes. But we would have circuits at Makerere, at Legends, at Chadondo, and there would be one circuit out of town, Jinja or Bali. And the reaction was that because of that problem of the failure to balance professionalism with people's other commitments, there was a lot of backlash. And it's why the system failed initially. Because many teams would just participate in the tournaments. They would not have the manpower. Because at the time, I remember at that time, Cobs never used to win circuits. Because most of the players were older players who had jobs, who had demanding jobs, and would not be available for the weekend. So it was the youngsters then who are rising in the ranks who would play. So the fact that, and then also the discipline of the players then, I remember.
That is actually one thing I wanted to ask you about.
Yes, the discipline of the players then, I remember it would be a hard ask to get a player to commit to a whole weekend when the bar is calling on a Friday, on a Saturday. So you would get players showing up on Saturday morning drunk. And like I said, it was just a participation thing. Players would just participate, just show up and run around and play. But I think with the development in rugby, at the moment, the URAU reintroduced the 2-day circuits. And I'm glad to see that all teams are responding positively and competing, and that is good for the game because it develops our team.
Okay.
You had asked me.
I had asked you about
how
Heathens, MTN Heathens.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you even get there? You actually a man from Ntare. How did you fix yourself in that Chadondo setup? First explain, man. You're a journeyman, by the way. I think when they are talking about guys like Kevin McMott, like Scott Roach that have journeyed in a couple of teams, you might have your hand to raise.
I've been only to 2 teams. Anyhow, I went to Ntare school, yes. And this might be strange, but when I went to Ntare school, I used to play basketball.
Okay.
from primary school. In primary, I happened to finish my primary from Lohana Academy. But before that, I was in Shimoni with Redo, with Norman Luum. So Norman Luum is when I was in my senior 4. I heard that Norman, my OB, was at Chadondo and he was doing well. So when I remember our days in Shimoni, when we used to play together and fight, and I saw this young man is now doing well at Chadondo, I must go there myself and show him that I'm still the bigger man.
Okay.
So that is how I ended up going there in 2009. In 2009, I was introduced to Christine, who was the coach of Stallions and Tigers then. That was the first outfit I played for. Then I played for Stallions in my senior 4 vacation, and I left rugby, went to do A-level, and returned in my senior 6 vacation. And that is when I joined Heathens. I played a few games with Stallions, then I was promoted to Heathens. I joined at the same time with Gift Wokorach, with Lawrence Sebuliba. Those are the guys I came up with. So, playing in Heathens, I would say, at that time, I had a very good introduction to top level rugby, to Super 8 rugby as it then was. I played with the best players in the country at the time. I remember my chance to play for Heathens. My first game, I remember I was on the bench, and in the first 5 minutes, Matthias got injured. Matthias Ocho. Matthias got injured, and the bench was really heavy. I was still a young man, scared with butterflies. And the coach overlooked the rest of the substitutes and chose me because of the role that Matthias was doing on the pitch, and that was the line out. So from that day, I never looked back. I played for the rest of the season, and like I said, we had the best players. We had the self-proclaimed best sevens player in East Africa. It was Brian Chikawa. We had Matthias. We had guys like Romano. We had guys like Muisaka. We had Benon Chiza. So I jumped into the fray as a young man. And I think that is what has given me this longevity in rugby, if I may say. I think I'm very proud of the time I had at Heathens. And I always joke with some people that before I stop playing, I have to go back to Heathens and give back.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk more about that later. But anyway, for those that are seeing us, we are at the Fred and Winnie B&B, and you should really check it out because there are a lot of changes happening around, a lot of things that are being twisted just to make sure that the customer experience is up to a standard that is worth a getaway from home. But one thing you should know about the Fred and Winnie B&B, 10 self-contained private bedrooms, a fully equipped kitchen, Wi-Fi, laundry services, a chef to cater to your every need, a sumptuous buffet, pick up and drop off to and from Entebbe International Airport, as well as local transportation around the country can be arranged, and you can book this with 0778-933-559 as the number you call, and you just let them know that a Fat Cat sent you for amazing discounts, especially as we enter September. We're going towards the festive season. Start to plan early. Do you have people that are coming around from wherever they are, coming into the country? They were summer, looking for somewhere convenient to stay, not far away from town, very convenient, very serene. The Fred and Winnie B&B is your location. But back to the champions. Now, Gift, You've heard us talking about Philip Wokorach. Do you ever get guys asking you, are you Philip's cousin, Philip's brother? Eh?
Mob guys.
Eh? What do you lie to them that man, that guy is my big brother?
At first, I used to lie.
He used to lie.
Like last year when we went for EA games
Eh.
in Arusha.
The Kenyans, were they asking?
I know
Eh.
one of my schoolmates and teammates.
Mm.
Like he asked my name. I told him I'm Wokorach Gift.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Are you the brother to Philip and Michael?"
And Michael.
I said yes, because of the name they had or they have. Yeah.
Does that name come with any extra pressure to perform, to be a good player? Eh? Kubanga toyagala kubeera Wokorach asooka mu gundi mu nsi nga tamanyi kuzanya rugby bulungi.
Boss. Erinnya ly'amaanyi olyogerako mu rugby we Uganda. Buli omuntu wawulira nti Wokorach aba yagala labe. Erinnya eryo kiki ekirimu.
Naye kati nga ggwe obadde mu setup ya under 20 kati abantu bangi bali kuwandiikako abamawulire abawagizi abawala n'abasajja nabo bagamba man guy abawala bagamba that guy but what has inspired you gwe ki ekikuinspiringa okubeera mbuozanya engeri gy'ozanyamu?
Ekyasooka nali mu form 1 kyali wange bamuyita nnyo Edward nzanya naye ku tiimu. Nagenda ku kisaawe ku Tobacco Abedaila Stadium. Waliwo games and baali bazita Matazi 7.
Wali mu ssomero ki?
Baali bayita Masese Seed. Masese Seed. Diri awo ki.
Okay.
Nagenda byali ku macha Matazi 7. Nindaba omuzanyo gwa misinde ekyasinga okumalamu amaanyi. Bakuba omuyayi John ekyuka. Bwe nali ne mugamba ogwo omuzanyo n'oba oyagala otya sisobola guzanya. Ningenda kusomera okumanda. Mukwano gwange yo already yali azanya. Oyo gwe bayita Emmy Edward. Nansudi yawo nangamba omuzanyo just eyo injala ebibaawo bubeezi. Ebantuuko. Kati la coach liyo ne bajja kusomera eyo nga banoonya bagategeka by'amasomero biki. Ne balonda tiimu nengenda ne training ngaawo ne banteeka na ku tiimu B. Nga sina kyemanyi. Nenzanya omwaka ogusooka guyo nyingidde Trojans nzanya. Twajjako wano ne Chad ne tuzanya Katenrizinga game yali ya Zimbabwe ne Uganda. Ne twazanyira na mu bigeri. Yali awo Chad Dongo. Lunaku lwange olwasooka okujja e Kampala n'okuzanya rugby ali awo nti rugby anyuma. Nendabako awo abazanyi ba national team bali boogerako ne Renasokola Aaron, Renasokola ba Pirore na sokola Michael nembeko okuma lwakuba mu biseyo sayina simu naye nonya busere olunaku ne rugba emyaka ne gitambula kati omwaka oguwedde coach natugamba wali opportunity yaki under 20 ne tujja twali tetunana na qualifying za 15s ne za nationals biki ne tujja ku trials ze bansulirawo na lunaku lusooka.
Kiwachi wagana okudduka.
Sikuduka. Nali nzanya naye mu biseera. Mwaka gode nali nzanya naye. Coach wanda 15 wagundi wanda 20. Mwaka gode ali coach Lumono Warambi. Nga yayagala professional players mbawazanyira simanyi mu top 10. Nga kati fe tukyali wansi. Ne tujja ku trials. Kyamene kintema. First day tuba tugamba taxi coach nani agwe toli kuda bakujjeko. Samubuza nsonga kuba nali manyi nali mutono. Ndi awo akazanya sikategera bulungi. Batwa na mukwano gwange yali huka emiem. Nena sagging up. Nengena training uyo tuyingide top 10 nafe tuzanya premiership biki mpangudeko wempangudawo bakulaba. Omwaka guno nengamba do or die noberako ku national team ne training nga nenkola ki ono nanjigiza Bob nanjigiza nga kiki biki era guno mwaka badeko kwa under 20 nga coach wafe Marshall Shumkam coach wa Rhinos ne Katuntu Emma
sevens tezaali nyangu under 20 tezaali nyangu soka otubulireko omuliro ogwali eyo side eyo
gemu yasookera ddala yatujjako gemu ya Kenya baatuva
egolooza obuzibu bwali ku ki
obuzibu mbula bwali just si bwamaanyi naye tetwali prepared bulungi ate n'abaana be twatwala sigamba nti ki baali ba high school biki ng'abazanyira mu buligi batono nga baali baagala mbobo baagala ba weight biki naye twasinga abaana ba high school twatuuka eri nga abayaaya abazanya aba Kenya otunula ku forward wo n'otunula ku forward wo nga prop naye nga prop eyesobola si prop bano bamasavu prop asobola okuba ano tako n'asituka n'akuba tako endala si prop agenda kukuba tako egi asooka alwana okukola ki
okuyimuka
era nze kyena tulina nakyusamu mu paaka yafa negemu yasembayo twagiwangula lwakuba ekyannumanga otandikiranga ku benchi nga ndaba ali kunzanyako nkola ki
omusinga
nakinuma naye twamala wetwakomawo Uganda eyo nayingira obubokisi bw'abasajja nayingirako akabokisi katiemu waffe Tuketi Dennis ne Coach Marshall ne Katundu ne Magamba ne coach pati naye ntandikiranga ku benchi nga ndaba 10 yali kuba 10 waffe yali Gizamba Calvin Gizamba owakobs ana omusinga biki naye nga nekinzi jamu kiri oba busosezera kuba mbiira jinja biki naye ne mande nti coach abane ensonga ze
naye kati wababuuza bakugamba obuzibu bwe bwali oba kiki abali baagala oyongeremu
bangamba nti nze nagenda nga utility player nga nino nsoozanya 9 nsoozanya 10 oba 15 nga siri muki namba yemu bangambira awo naye twali eyo yennyini Kenya mu kampu koyokoyo natwitinga waliwo byatwitinga biki kuba nange Calvin twali tusula ne Calvin mu room yemu nagenda ku simu ye nze naye sirina simu
kati olina simu
nagenda ngala atwita etabuse nga bamuga oba koyoko yalina byawandika bingi nga biri about me na Calvin ng'agamba lwaki Calvin atandika kunze nga nze nina mob pressure compared to him mbu ye alina abazanyi abali somehow oba nkigambe ntya abaludde mu kazanya abasobola okubeererawo n'alabika bulungi compared kunze ali ku tiimu gye bayita eya wansi erina pack entono naye ng'ate omupiira guba gulina okukola ki okutambula Calvin nekimuluma n'agamba Gift bibino bali kwogera biki naye ngenda kwogera ne bakochi gemu ya Madagascar okole ki otandike era ekiro yayogera ne coach Katuntu kuba Marshall ye yali agenze France yalina emirimu gye teyagenda nafe nayogera ne coach Katuntu gemu ya Madagascar n'etandika era twawangula egemu yokka gye twawangula nezisigadde ziri ebbiri nali mbiranga ku bench nenge era wondaba nga wemba nyingide ekisawo olabawo ki change Calvin kuba game ye yali azanya 10 na 15 nga wenyingire ekisawe ada ku 15 olwa kika ina yo kika omupiira asoguwangaza mu bbanga apa nanda
okay Bob
Yes.
kati just okubuuza first of all ezo jazeze mwambadde ezo mwaino muri at least among team ezwadde ez'omukisa eno season okulaunchinga jazz of course Derrick Tukwasibwe kwogera kyekimu kubanga baludde okulaunchinga bali bakyali abali budget naye I'm sure balina kye bakuukinga naye soko tubulire kweyo jazze origin mwagifuna mutya ani yabateekamu kajazaako akali very unique
jazze waliwo yagituwa luse technical kuliko ndowooza n'abalala abasobola tufunira jazze twamala ebbanga nga tustranglinga jazz so ne batukolera jazz eno eya kyovola beriko muluse wanene yatuletera jazz eno
Okay, kati gundi entegeeragana n'oyo mu luse technical yajaze yokka oba abawako ne kasente yakaba tambuza na buli kimu?
Yes, of course atuyamba transport y'aba players abamu n'okulya ba players abamu alina at least kateekako yengayo.
Twalaba by the way bwe mwawangula ekikopo twalaba abagayi maani abajja abamu ne beewoma ssente ku social media mwamala ne mufuna ssente zammwe waliwo gayi n'agamba agenda bawa emitwalo 5.
Ekituufu kyennyini bw'aba mpulira kasente kaffe
n'ekikumi naye abalala bo ssente zammwe zaatuuka kubanga twalaba waliwo omuntu nekola olunaku mwafuna ssente ezava mu Nile then waliwo n'omulala yajja n'ayongerako ko kasente awo
olwo lwennyini
ninge oba nze yalaba obubi nalaba bubi
awo wennyini nga balituwa
waliwo omulala eyateekamu awo kasente olwo yali omusanyufu ennyo
yali awanze
yawagoweka tewawaako banno
of course oba olina
tebayinza kutunuulira
nga captain onaasobola okukikola n'atatuwa naye kati nga captain era babagenda kutunuulira we bati ekigampo kijja oli kubawa nze sisobola kulya nzekayo obuzibu bwe nnina era buli wookolawo oti ono ngaakulaba captain okoze otya
naye kati njagala kutegeera ne kati gwe mu Walukuba wayingiramu otya kubanga simanyi oba watandikira Jinja ekyo kati kyekimu nakyo kyenjagala okutegeera.
Walukuba ndowooza nayingira nga club yali yakatandika yali etandise already ndowooza nga wayisewo omwaka gumu najja 2013 najja ne muganda wange naye lwakuba yate teyasobola kuzannya yasobola kubeera nga nze eyandeeta nanga at first ndowooza n'oba obuuziza coach ate nze nali mufu nnyo kutandika yes nze najja naye nga nze tosobola kunteekako na birowoozo tosobola gamba nti oba ono alivaamu kyaliva nababonyabonya nnyo nga buli we bajja ku kisaawe sirina kyendaga ndi awo wentyo saagala ne bagamba oba ono tumugamba agezeeko ekirala naye ekyasinga kunjagaza rugby nentandika omuyiga nentandika okubeera ddala omuzanyi era oluganda lwe nalaba lwe balina kuba nali muzanyi wa kapiira nazanyi omupiira mu primary nga tulina ku tiimu naye somera nabwere kati ate nenzija mu rugby
oleka scholarship y'omupiira
nenzija mu rugby kale nafunamu obuzibu n'ewaka awo nga omanyi abalenzi awo ogenda okulaakulaawo ate kati ffe tukulidde jasi omumanyi eby'omugeto kasookolamu oti ng'oyitaawo kati ekyanyamba nti mu rugby ate club yali yakata muganda wange n'antwalayo naye yali azannya ate oyantwalayo ne banyanyiriza kati nendaba oluganda olwaliwo ate nga lwali tetulina mu mupiira nendaba abagaye gye banjala naye nga simanyi weewonye nali simanyi nga bakugumya ne bagamba ojja yiga bapuleya bano nakugamba ojja kuyiga gwekolawo oti bwoti kati twali tutandika okuzanya club netandika nga batandisa otuwa games kati waliwo I think oba 2015 waliwo baali bategese sevens waliwo ne under 19 kati ne batuleeta okuza nga balonda squad ezigenda okuzanya under 19 kati ku squad yasooka saaliko nekinuma nnyo ng'ate group gye nayiga nayo abasinga bonna bakoze eki bonna babayise nze nga siriiko kati next circuit yali Jinja wetwadde Jinja ne bagamba nti tulinayo training era bagenda kulonda bagenda okuzanya ki under 19 neŋŋamba bano bakyalikyakano basaaga tibagenda kundeka nenjiya buli kabadi nenga nkola buli kimu senior player waffe naye yali kakiko kalonda n'agamba era alaze nti ayagala bujjo kyetutasula jo tetumina kyetumulabamu ne bantwala mu kisaawe kye nabalagako okwolo siddanga mabega wakuba nafunamu obuzibu awo ne family 2019 awo ebansindikako ngende nkole wa Dubai so ne missinga mu rugby katono kati nga omanye ebyaliwo ebya covid ebyo emirimu okukola kibiki ate nga nina okudda waka ate ekyanyamba nange kyenalaba nti awo we nali siriiwo tewaliwo rugby agenda ki waliwo covid time awo nga tewali kye bali kukola ki kati nange mweyo period ate mwe nakola ki onakomerawo nga bakola ki bawumula tebazanya rugby so nasanga some players nze benalekawo nga nze benalinzanya nabo abasinga bakita nga tebakyazanya nensangawo abaana bali mu Trojans bebaliwo netandika okutraininga nabo coach nambulira buli kimu nangamba buli kimu nga kirina okutambula nange nengoberera amateeka agakola ki agaliwo aga club so okuva n'olwo sizikizanga bukyanga ntandika okuzanya sizikizanga okuva bukyankomawo okuva eri sizikizanga ne tiimu yaffe n'abaana bembadde nabo tetuzikizanga ne bwe tuba tuluzinze ne bwe tuba tukoze eki
naye kati okubawo wadda mu kaseera ka covid noddamu n'ozanya rugby woddayo n'otunuula emabega n'okirowoozaako akagendo k'otambudde has it been oyinza okugamba mbu kiri justified mbu wakola decision entuufu biki ebirungi byofunyemu mu kaseera k'obadde ne Walukuba byofunye mu rugby
ebirungi byo bingi cause kuba kati ne family yanzikiriza nkole ki wali eri era ekyantwaza eyo ndowooza kyali kimu ku ebyo abaga omwana ayonoonese nga balaba sikyabeera waka ne baŋŋamba katukusindikeko eri okole naye kati banzikiriza nkole ekyo kyenyina okukola ndaba nga nze wendi weewo at least sina kingi nnyo kyenaafunyemu naye at least nze ndaba wenkute si wabi okusinziira oba olabye kuba nange oba be nali nabo oba mikwano gyange at least buli omu akugamba at least gwosinga
naye nga besides kyemanyi of course siyinza kumanya kiri nnyo mu Walukuba oba ensasula nnungi nnyo naye kyenjagala okutegeera besides rugby olinayo ekirala kyokola nga gwe
of course olina okuba n'ebirala byoliba kuba obulamu bw'ensi bunene olina okubaako ekirala kyotambuza kuba Walukuba ngayo olina kuzanya lwa mutima gwa tiimu kati nga gwe wabweru olina okubaako ekirala ekyo kyoyiiya nga gwe n'obeerawo
kati Gift nga wemba njagala kati obabuuza mwembi kati omanyi abantu batera tulina endowooza mu Uganda mbu tiimu zino waliwo tiimu mu Uganda ennene nga ze bayita ba the big 3 oba the big 4 naye muyinza okuba tenaba kutuuka ku level eyo naye kati mwekwatidde batya mu Walukuba mbu mwagala kuzimba ekintu ekyammwe tugabe kibeere almost oba kisingako nga ekyezo tiimu kubanga jjukira bwe mweyongera okulaga kyemukola zigenda kujja nga sagala kuyita kulimba naye nga zibagamba mbu kati Gift tugenda kuwa omulimu wano Gift tugenda kukola ki oli open okugenda ewalala olaba nga opportunity oba mwagala kwesibira ku Walukuba muzimbe ekintu kyammwe
of course era ekyo kyatandika
wafunye dda offers ezijja
ekyo kyo mwekiri fact kibadde kitusumbuwamuko akaseera akayisa amabega ng'olaba boogeza ba players abamu era kyatusumbuwamuko ne mu 15 twaluzingako ba players abamu ng'oba tuvudde mu liigi oba nga tukoze eki kati saawa zineeno tuze nga tugriminga kuva wansi abaana kuva wansi kati abaana abasinga era bazze batukuutira era nange nkyongerako gyogenda wewali ki kuba tebakuganira genda omuntu ng'ayagadde okgenda tolina kyamumukolera naye ogenda wa ogenda kufunamu ki ogenze. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Ruben, that was I think that was a trap
why was it a trap?
for you to ask that question to the captain.
Why?
I don't think he would answer it objectively, because the captain would never say, "I would leave if I got the chance," because if the captain leaves, the whole ship will sink.
Yeah. But luckily, he answered it very, very well.
Absolutely.
But as we are losing daylight, I just want to ask, it's not been the best of years for Cobs. I mean, we have seen better years. From what ideally looked like a trophy that Cobs had in their hands for the 15s to having a pretty, I believe Cobs was the most consistent side in the 7s prior to what they call the national team whip right now. The call from the coaching team, taking about 7 of your players and now leaving you guys to maneuver the rest of the Nile Special Sevens with a predominantly young team. How is everything in the Corps camp? Is everything good? Because I won't even lie about it. We have had so many questions, so many things in the grapevine about managerial tags of war, I should say. We have had so many things about even maybe a bit of a player split. I'm following this guy, I'm following this guy. Tell us what's happening in Corps.
Well, you've had rumors.
Exactly.
And as a player, I don't think it would be ideal to indulge in a conversation on rumors.
Yeah, but then ideally you would be able to at least give us a bit of clarity that this is all just hearsay.
Yes, we've been down this road before. And again, I was there at a time when we had such a spell of suffering. That was in 2014. When we went a whole season without sponsorship and without financial support. But in terms of rugby, I think that is one of the seasons where we played our best rugby. The true mark of a great team is to use such adversity to fuel your success in the time ahead to come. Every team has been through, or at least is yet to be through, such a spell. And in fact, like you said, we have been greatly affected and prejudiced by
the call from the Sevens.
By the call from the national Sevens, taking away 7 of our players. But like you started on this podcast, that is evidence that we are the best team. If they can take 7 from our team, and they pick a few from the rest, it shows that the team needs the best players.
However, with your results, then that also speaks to your depth.
It is a positive. I don't know. With our depth, I would say that we're a team with great depth, because I'll speak for other teams, even though I don't have the right to. But if other teams were affected as we were, they would not have players to field. We have a number of players. We've had some promotions from the younger team. The other players who have not been participating in Sevens, but chose to come in and support their team. It's a process, and I believe we are getting there. If we are affected this much and manage to go to the knockout stages and compete favorably, I think it is only a sign that the days ahead are bright. And I encourage my teammates who will probably watch this podcast that if we've lost the last 2 circuits, it is not the end. We can win the last circuit. we use these as experiences that would make us better players in the days to come. You asked me if we're okay in the camp, and there are challenges. Where there is no money, there is bound to be challenges. There are challenges. There are players who have needs, allowances, maybe transport refund, and other personal needs.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it will be the story that will define what we are now. It is just a phase, and I believe I believe there's good news that's coming, and all that is going to be history. I think for the people in the stands and the other players that compete against us, this is a message, and at the same time a warning. We have not lost any power. We are still the top dogs, and we shall prove our worth in the time to come.
All right. Very, very bold words. We'll wait to see. Bob.
Yes.
Just to ask, currently you sit in 8th on the Nile Special Sevens ranking overall. Ekintu kyenkuuliddemu ky'osinza okwogera mu interview z'okoze kiri nti target/goal. Yali goal yaffe. So overall, what was your target for the Nile Special Sevens as we are now heading into the final leg of the circuit?
Target yaffe overall.
Yes.
Twali kuva eno mu relegation because last time kyatubonyabonya nnyo, at least tubeere mu 7-6.
Okay.
Yeah, so target yaffe yali yeeyo over.
Naye kati ng'abantu ki ky'obasuubiza for ebugembe ku Kyabazinga Sevens? Ojjukira abaliko kati abava okuwangula for the first time muli mu group A as top seed, which means fairly mufuna group etali nzibu nnyo naye of course you cannot undermine anyone.
Yeah.
What do we expect from Walukuba in Kyabazinga?
Tuli waka boy. Balina okujja nga bakimanyi kyokyo bakitukuliza bagamba obeera waka, olina okukitegeera nti oli waka, olina okwegazanyiza wakaawo. So buli omu ajje nga akimanyi olaba twagenda watali waka netusobola okwegazanyizaayo. So buli ajja ebugembe akitegeere Walukuba Barbarians ye hostinze, so jangu ng'oli ready. Ekibinja kye tulimu waliwo badde batuwa ebisingako naawo. So kubivaamu sometimes. So kye tulimu tubadde tukisuubira. So bajje.
So target ye Kyabazinga eri ki?
Awo sijja kuwa. Sijja kuwa awo. Nenga era tulinawo target.
Gift. Kati njagala kubuuza obeera nnyoko ku social media. Kati anti nga bwe bafuna essimu. Obeerako. Sooka ombulire wali obaddeko awo gwe naawe n'osoma ekintu ku social media ne kitakusanyusa okuva mu bawagizi? Buli byolaba bibeera bikusanyusa? Naye ebigambo by'abawagizi obiwuliriza nnyo, obigoberera nnyo?
ngenda kukinyumira.
Ki ekibeera kikunyumira ku social media?
Kati nga video wa rugby nenkalaba nenvaawo.
Wawa osinga okulaba bu video wa rugby? Wawa osinga okujja bu video wa rugby gwe ku social media?
TikTok ne Twitter.
TikTok. Anti ku account ki? Oyinza osanga waliwo bagaya baagala okubeera nga ggwe, bamanyi account z'ogendako okubujjako, page z'ogendako okubujjako. Oyinza osanga gy'ojja notes z'okozesa ku kisaawe.
Bya mukisa.
Naye nga podcast yaffe y'obadde ogiraba?
Njiraba ndi following.
Episode ki eyali esinza okukolera oba okunyumira?
Anyway, they are Emily Kulu.
Yeah, Emily.
No, Mwala Avengers.
Yeah. Mbawala oyina timu gy'owagira. Owagira timu. Thunderbirds. Nenga timu yo eno season nga si yangu. Ekyakuwagiza Thunderbirds.
Mumuli omuwagizi waffe.
Kati ogiwagira lwako muyina omuwagizi eyo. Naye walaba ekyali ku eyo episode abawala kye bagamba. Abasajja ba rugby mani muli bazibu era nga tasobola kugamba mukyala yenna kubeera na musajja wa rugby temuli bangu bw'okyogerako
ekyo wangu tuli bangu nakuba kirekabo be batomera obo be batomera nenga omuntu yenna kasita ogwa ku mutuufu nga muzanyi wa rugby abajja kuba omukwano naye gukutana amanimye mukiga
Mukiga, I want to know what are your predictions for Chabazinga Sevens? Before you even answer that, what are your predictions for who's going to win Chabazinga Sevens for the men and for the women? And also keep in mind, overall, Kao put out something that is about the math, that if if Pirates finishes in this position, for Heathens to win, they need to finish like this. I remember
I saw
for
that.
overall, if Heathens was to win Chabazinga,
They had to be 7.
they had to be 7. Do you think that mathematics has a chance?
No. I think we'll win it.
You think you're going to win Chabazinga 7?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bob, ekyo kyogerako kyagambye Cobbs egenda wangule wammwe.
tebagenda wangula bosi
Cobbs.
timu zize
Jukira Cobbs yabakuba luli gundi Tororo naye ne bagamba mbu bafielding omuntu
Si kituufu.
sikimanyi
bafielding omuntu
Derrick. How true is that stuff?
bafielding omuntu atali wa Cobbs muzanyi wa Hippos
Olina obukakafu mbu teyacrossinga.
bakulosinga season ewedde si wekiri nga oba tuli mu Uganda Cup naye to make things worse oyo bamwita Eugene yasomera Kwana yazanyirako ne Hippos season eno nga tanakudayowa kusomera kati ewa Tororo tulaba azanyira ki nze naye sibifudde nako kochi najja nambuuza oyo omuzanyisi wa Hippos nambuuza erinnya lye nemugamba mumanyi oyo wa Hippos bamwita Eugene asomera Kwana tugenda olanga kituufu akyali wa Hippos tanakukola ti tebanamuwa release later
Ate n'okuluzinga eyo game. Twali tukimanyi already.
Totegeeza bwabakube naye kibalume Justin zimuzibagyeko mu
Already
boardroom
twali tumanyi nti si muzanyi waabwe.
ne mugyayo ekiwujjo.
Ne tujjayo ne tujjamu. Wakochi yatunnyonnyola n'agamba bw'otazannya nga like oba mujjamu nga temunabazannya. Already baba bajja kuba waggulu. Naye ndowooza olabeko games zaffe ne Cobbs twali tuzannya wetyo. Bwe twali tukwata Cobbs at least game
Derrick, the champions have spoken. I don't know what you're going to say.
With respect to my brothers here, I don't think there's a team that goes onto the pitch with the intention to lose on whatever ground. It was unfortunate what happened, but the takeaway from that was that even before that happened, they gracefully lost.
Okay.
And
But how does a team as
they are
organized as Cobbs fall for such a schoolboy era?
well, I have not studied that issue to great depth, but what I have heard is the tournament management was informed prior to the player participating in the tournament. The tournament management was informed, but there was a turnaround from certain individuals. But rules are rules. If they had evidence and proof that entitled them to act as they did, then all rules must be followed by all clubs and everyone participating in the tournament. We shall not sour grape over that. But this weekend we want to show that we can still win the circuit. And to stand with my brothers, I think let me tell them that the best they can do is be in the final and lose again. Yes.
Bob, do you expect us to win?
To be honest, I didn't expect your team to win, and I was impressed. I was happy that you won. I was impressed that you won. It is a show that hard work always pays. This is a team that was just promoted into the league, and the true definition of an underdog. And the journey they took, they beat Heathens, they beat Pirates. You can't say they fluked because of the win they gave them against Cobs.
Yeah.
They went on and beat everyone they found, and I was actually impressed that they won the tournament, and I wish them the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
Any last words, Mr. Bob, captain?
Yo, like nze mbadde njagala kwebazaako abatulaba ne ba players abamu ngenda kuboogera like nga Ivan Magomo abaddewo nnyo abadde atusupportinganga kuba nze bukyanga ntandika kuzanya mu gundi neno 7s ne 15s buli butu gye mbadde nyamba abadde ampa ne awaddeko ne some players bakirabu like teammates band bawaddeko njagala kumwebaza nnyo ogwo omutima gwalina n'abaana abafe abato ne William Nkole bebale nnyo omutima gwe batulaze bambi manyi omwana tubeerayo eyo naye nga gyeri amwana tasobola kwetuusaako ngato ya rugby engato za rugby za bbeeyi so omuntu ng'oyo wavaayo n'akuwa engato eyo mwana kiba kyamaanyi so ebigambo byange byengenda okwogera ebisembayo era banange mujje mu nyumirwa ekyabazinga 7s egenda kubeera massive kyetwakola eri mukisuubire tugenda kukiddamu.
Gift, olina byoyagala otugamba nga tetunaba kugenda mu after podcast activities?
Njagala kwebaza omuwagizi waffe ku social media.
Omu yekka. Ani?
Successor.
Mind was a successor muwagizi wa Pirates.
Omuwagizi waffe atwagala nnyo wange. Era buli
Wadde tokimanyi kimuwagizi waffe.
tukola akateekayo. Werim boys.
Bambi tumwagala nnyo.
Twagala nnyo wange.
Naye waliwo omulala gwe mmanyi gwe bayita Trekapata. Nga ye temumwebaza. Oyo omusajja nga babeereddeyo bamuyita
Yegundi.
Trekapata. Yoyo. Nga nali sikimanyi. No wonder he was. Now everything is adding up now.
Bali saagala kwogera bimu naye.
Kubanga I see the guy every post is like, hey man, Walukuba Barbarian invasion. Hey. All along, omusajja nga alina omutima. Alright, we thank you for putting your money where your mouth is and supporting a team that is not the top 3. We appreciate. Wadde okyebaza olina abalala bw'oyagala okwebaza okugjako successor.
Waliwo abawagizi baffe abali ku Twitter abamu betasodde kwogera tubagala nnyo bambi beebale kutupushinga si kyangu kuba gyeri teams eziruddewo naye nga at least teziri ngaffe naye ffe olaba twakajjawo tuti naye at least tugezaako okwenyiga mu bali ate nga tujja kujyawo.
Okay.
Ivan Magomo.
Bamwogedde
Ngagwa.
especially gwe azanya mu namba gy'azanya. Sooka otubuulire.
Mba nina omutumira kuba ye nalone Oforoth bensinga ddala okwagala. Olya Oforoth w'omodo wange oba badde tokimanyi.
Mbadde sikimanyi.
Nga Ivan Magomo alina omutima omulungi mugaalye. Era oluusi ngendayo kale bwe musanga oba weyogerere oba ngazeeko kuno obudde nenyumyako naye nemugamba anyongerewa nkole kino nkole kino. Mwagala nnyo.
Naye kati wobeera ozanya mu game ng'ozanya against them, oba bagaba role model bo tobeera ng'obatya ng'obawa respect nyingi.
Wali mu kisaawe
at first wamma kyaliwo era kyobulaba kyatubonyabonyanga at first kyaliwo naye kati kigenze kituvaamu
ng'obamanyira obalaba oluusi ova n'enamba ye ng'osobola omubuuzawo n'ogaa nti superstar plan ki otuukayo musenga era tomutya nnyo wadde oba omuwa ekitiibwa kye ekimugwana ngayo omuntu
tubawa respect naye tugenda kubatya respect
ekyo kyakabi. Derrick, any last words from you?
Thank you, Fat Cats, for having me here.
I did ask you what your favorite episode was. I know you're one of our avid watchers.
Yes, my favorite episode. Well, I don't know which number it was, but there's one where Caesar almost cried here, making his case that we are the best team. I think that was the one that preceded that game we won at Kings Park. Yeah.
I think I remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And indeed, most of the panelists, if I may say, or most of the hosts, are my very good friends. Bruno is my kin. Dexter is my kin as well. Caesar, and you, of course. We've had memories on the pitch and off the pitch.
We try.
Yes. I'd like to appreciate the fans, not just for Cobs, but the fans of rugby in Uganda. They are the reason why many of us give our best to win games, to play to the best of our abilities, and for the support they give the young talent. I would like to appreciate the players as well. A special note to Ivan Magomo, who has been mentioned here, Aaron Ofoiroth. We rise by lifting one another.
Yeah.
So if Magomo has been such an example, when Gift rises to his level, he will also improve the life of another player. And these are some of the values that the game espouses.
Yeah.
I'd like to send a shout out to my teammates, my brothers in arms, with whom we fight these battles to maintain our position at the top, and all the other players across other teams that we meet and tussle it out with. They're the reason why we enjoy the beautiful game. Then, of course, I would like to thank every player, every coach that has had an impact on another player. Like I said earlier, there are some of those players that I mentioned that were responsible for my career in rugby. For these young men also, I'm sure there are players that are responsible for their careers in rugby. It means a lot when someone out there gives you the torch and says, this is your path, and you walk your path. Then, in the end, again, I'll repeat, I'm profoundly honored to be a guest here, and I look forward to another invite.
Yeah, hopefully joining that elite class of guests of ours that have been at the podcast more than once.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but we have had a very, very interesting conversation with two gentlemen from the Walukuba Barbarians who are winners of the Tororo Sevens, and they will be wanting to carry on that mantle and defend their home turf at the Bugembe grounds, which will be the Chalazinga Sevens, the last circuit of what has been so far 6 going into 7 very, very entertaining circuits. The journey that started in Jinja and that's going to end in Jinja, just on a different ground. For those that can make it, this is your last opportunity to have the experience of what rugby is like outside Kampala, a 2-day experience of rugby, Nile special, lots of fun, lots of networking and so much more. And as the Fat Cats will always give you the updates, give you the experience, and just make sure also on social media you follow us, and make sure you also click that subscribe button so that we can be able to give you all the information, and whenever there is something new that comes up, you get it in real time, you get that notification. So Thank you for watching this, and see you guys in Ginger, and then see you next time on the next episode of the Fat Cats Rugby Podcast. Cheers. Thanks for listening in. Share with us your thoughts from today's episode, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.